Welcome to the Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. Every week, we're going to bring you powerful stories and strategies from leaders who are making a real impact by building stronger, more resilient communities. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and equipped with the tools to thrive in both your personal and professional life.
Hi, folks. This is Beth Almaris with the Foundation for Family and Community Engagement. We're a nonprofit who's really passionate about helping people and organizations build strength and resilience through skill-based learning, as well as leadership development. We have a really interesting guest today. Meet Brady Pyle. Hi, Brady.
Hi, Beth. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So Brady has a really cool gig. He is the Chief HR and Inclusion Officer for Space Center Houston. I have to admit, you're my first space person.
Oh, good deal. Yeah, I've been here about 2.5 years following a 30-year HR career at NASA.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. I live in DC, and I actually have some friends that have worked for NASA over the years. So super fun. Well,
Yeah.
Why don't you start by telling us about your organization?
Yeah, so Space Center Houston, we are a nonprofit as well. We are a science learning center trying to inspire the next generation of explorers and also inspiring students to go into science, technology, engineering, and math or STEM fields. We have about 1.3 million guests per year.
Wow.
A third of those come from like the Houston region, a third domestic, and then a third are international as well. So there's kind of a burgeoning interest in space exploration these days.
Yeah. It's a burgeoning interest for the wealthy as well.
Right.
It must be a really interesting time to be in your field, right? Because it's something that's always been, incredibly exclusive and really science and data driven. And all of a sudden you have Katy Perry going to space.
Right. Yeah. And hopefully, I think a lot of those explorers are getting messages out in new ways to different audiences that the NASA or the traditional companies tend to reach.
Oh, well, that's a really positive spin on it. All right. So how big is your organization? How many folks work there?
Yeah, so we have about 200 full-time staff, another 250 part-time and seasonal staff as well that work here. And we're in the museum field.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually an affiliate of the Smithsonian. A lot of our artifacts and collections are on loan from the Smithsonian, so we have a strong partnership there with the Air and Space Museum.
Excellent. Yes, I used to live like a couple of blocks from there.
Hmm.
Well, the small one in DC, I don't know if you've been out to the one out by Dulles Airport. They have a huge museum.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, one of the Space Shuttle Discovery is housed there. Very, very nice display. So hopefully folks can get out and see it.
Yeah. So you're in the HR field and have been for quite a long time, it sounds like. What are some of the challenges facing HR in 2025?
Yeah, so I think one of them is engaging the workforce. Employee engagement is a huge theme right now. Culture is a huge theme, and how you build and sustain your organization culture. I've been pleased with the last 2.5 years in this smaller nonprofit setting to use some of the lessons and things that we did at NASA that worked well to build culture, develop leaders, are working in this setting as well.
Mm. Can you give me some examples?
Yeah, one of the things that really hadn't been done much at Space Center Houston is leadership development. And so I'm a big believer in the 70-20-10 rule of leadership development. 70% is on the job learning, 20% is through contacts, through coaching and mentoring, and then 10% is through content, your typical training courses. And that was a strategy that we leveraged at NASA as well. So here at Space Center Houston, we started right away with a mentoring program. We also started getting all of our leaders executive coaching through BetterUp, which is a virtual coaching platform. So we had some quick wins there, and then we've put together some leadership cohort training activities as well. So leaders are learning together and as a group, and they're building cross-department relationships as they learn and engage with one another. So that's been pretty exciting to see how those methods that worked well at NASA are working in this context as well.
That's great. And just what a benefit for the overall organization, right?
Yeah, once your leaders start improving their leadership and enhancing their skills, it greatly impacts employee engagement. I think Gallup points to anywhere from 65 to 70% of your engagement scores tend to directly correlate with your relationship with your immediate supervisor. So
yeah,
if you can really hone in on that relationship and improve that relationship, you improve the overall engagement of the organization.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and direct supervisors are the number one reason that people leave an organization. So
For sure.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It all goes down back to relationships, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I like to point out to leaders is, you hear a lot about the golden rule to treat other people the way you want to be treated. Leadership to me is about the platinum rule and treating others the way they want to be treated. So getting to know them, getting to know their preferences, their what is their work-life fit? What does that look like? And how can you accommodate that as a leader? Practicing the platinum rule is one that gets leaders farther faster.
Yeah, I love that. I've never heard that. The platinum rule.
Platinum rule.
Excellent. And what are some of the trends you're seeing in HR?
Yeah, so a big trend, I think, not only in HR, but everywhere right now is artificial intelligence. And there's a big fear that, hey, AI is going to take jobs. A lot of the global HR conferences that I've been to recently, I really resonate with the theme that AI won't necessarily take people's jobs, but people who know how to use AI will take jobs of people who don't know how to use it. So from an HR perspective, how are you providing that kind of training and capability to your workforce so they can continue to grow and into this new way of doing things? I think that's the huge trend. Another trend we're seeing, I think, is again kind of in general. Gallup will point to declining employee engagement scores, and organizations that really focus on that and focus on improving their culture, improving their leaders, do better in the market. So those are certainly things that we're focused on at Space Center Houston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AI is a very popular theme that we keep hearing about, and people seem to be really excited or really frightened or kind of, a little bit of both.
Right. Yeah, it's so new. It's like any new technology over the years. I mean, at the outset of internet, email, I mean, there were similar kinds of discussions and fears, and you look back on those and think, wow, that was kind of silly. And I think we're going to do the same thing with AI is look back and see some of our fears and concerns were kind of silly in the end. But I think it's like any technology, you have to manage it and not let it manage you. And so making sure that you're leveraging it the right way and managing it the right way for your organization and your team is really critical.
Yeah, I think so too. And figuring out how to use it that still allows people the kind of creativity and the joy they get from doing their work, right? Like if I see a lot of people using it for writing and for people that really love to write, what does that look like? What does job satisfaction look like when you're being asked to use this tool that's replacing some of your creativity?
Yeah, and I think my view is there's no substitute for the human creativity and innovation. And yeah, I think as an organization, you've got to wrestle with that and figure out how to continue to tap into that creativity and innovation. But leveraging the new technologies and new tools as well. I think there are ways that you can create win-win scenarios in those situations.
Yeah, I do too. But it is going to take some work. And
Yeah,
I think that can be the rub, right? People want AI to be quick and easy and replace things, but not necessarily leverage it or make it work best for what they're actually doing.
right. Yeah, it takes time and intention, like you said.
Yeah. It's an interesting time out there, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah, it's a fun time to be in the workplace, though, and kind of navigate some of these challenges.
Yeah. That's great. Well, if folks are interested in connecting or learning more, Brady, how can they find you?
Yeah, two ways, Beth. I think LinkedIn is certainly an easy way. Connect with me there, message me there as well. And then I've got a blog that I've had out there since about 2013. It's outofthisworldleadership.com. You can get to it also just using my name, bradypyle.com. It'll redirect you there as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll take a look. Well, thanks so much for your time. And thank you to our listeners. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you for joining us today on our Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. We hope you've been inspired by today's stories and strategies for building stronger, more resilient communities. Remember, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about growing through every challenge to become bigger and better. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody who could benefit from these insights. Stay connected, stay resilient, and we'll see you next time.